Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're starting by tackling a really fundamental paradox, something that's, well, kind of stifling digital transformation everywhere. Factories, power grids, you name it.
Right.
Industrial companies, they are just drowning in data. You've got sensors, PLCs, SCADA systems, pumping out petabytes.
Huge amounts.
But here's the twist. Most of that data, it just sits there. Unused, irrelevant, sometimes completely unusable.
Yeah.
We dove into the source material for this, looking at industrial data architecture, and honestly, the numbers are pretty startling.
They really are.
They confirm that something like, nearly 80% of industrial AI projects, they end up failing, they don't scale, they don't deliver the ROI.
80%. It's massive.
And crucially, the sources argue this isn't, because the AI models or the algorithms are bad.
No, not at all. The AI itself can be brilliant.
It's because the underlying data, the foundation, it's just not ready for AI to actually use it effectively.
Exactly. It's precisely that missing foundation layer.
Yeah.
Companies are, understandably, really eager for predictive maintenance or digital twins, these self-optimizing systems.
It was the buzzwords, yeah.
Right, but they're trying to build this, high-tech skyscraper on quicksand. It just doesn't work. So today, we're looking at a platform called WolkAbout AIrport. And its whole mission, its entire focus, is building what they call the contextualized data foundation.
Okay.
The very thing that's needed to make these industrial AI solutions actually work and, crucially, scale up.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Our mission here is to really understand what this missing semantic layer actually is.
Right.
Why haven't your existing systems, like historians or SCADA, already solved this? That's a big question I think listeners will have.
It is, yeah.
And why tackling this specific data readiness issue is, well, basically mandatory if industry wants to get past these endless failed pilot projects.
Absolutely. Let's start with the core problem. It really boils down to fragmentation.
Fragmentation.
Okay. Yeah, imagine you've got a global factory operation. Data is scattered everywhere. You've got PLCs speaking their own specific protocols.
Different vendors, different languages.
Exactly. Then you have SCADA systems, maybe visualizing just one part of the process.
Yeah.
ERP systems holding, the financial context or the work orders.
All separate silos.
Complete silos. And the signal themselves, often labeled with these really cryptic site-specific tags.
Like T101B.
Precisely. Things that mean absolutely nothing outside of that specific machine to anyone else or even to an AI.
Okay, so that's the chaos. How does that lead to the AI failure point?
Well, it's because AI doesn't just need a number, like a time series value. It needs context.
Meaning?
Meaning, exactly. So if you have a machine learning model trying to predict, say, a bearing failure,
Yeah.
it doesn't just need the raw vibration reading. It needs to know what asset that reading belongs to. What's its operational status right now?
Is it running? Is it idle?
Right. And how does it relate to the material flowing upstream? What's its maintenance history? All that traceable context.
So AI needs clean, structured, contextualized, and you mentioned explainable input.
Yes, explainable is critical. You need to be able to trace why the AI made a certain prediction or recommendation back to the underlying data and its relationships. Raw, unstructured signals just don't allow for that.
Okay, that distinction really seems key. Moving from just raw signals, raw numbers, to actual meaning.
That's the crux of it.
The analogy in the sources I thought was spot on. AI doesn't start with algorithms, it starts with clean, structured data.
Perfect way to put it.
So this airport layer, it's designed to sit right there in the middle, isn't it? Connecting what companies already own, the machines, the control systems, to where they want to go with AI.
Precisely. It bridges that gap.
So if the problem is this data chaos, this fragmentation, let's look at the solution. What does the airport platform actually do to organize this mess?
Okay, it tackles this by focusing on really two main architectural breakthroughs, according to the material. First is what they call modeling and contextualization.
Modeling and contextualization.
Yes, and this is crucial. It's not just about moving data from point A to point B. It's about giving that data meaning.
Okay.
They use something called semantic modeling and a unified namespace to link and model all the data.
Whoa, hold on. Unified namespace, semantic modeling. Those sound like heavy data architecture terms. Can you break those down a bit more simply for us?
Absolutely. Let's take the unified namespace first. Think of it like creating a single, consistent, global dictionary for everything in your operation.
The dictionary. Okay.
So maybe you have, say, 50 plants worldwide.
Yeah.
In the old way, the temperature sensor on the exact same type of pump might be called P101T3A. in your plant in Germany
Right.
and maybe Tempo Alpha in your plant in Brazil. Totally different. Cryptic tags.
Makes it impossible to compare or run models across sites.
Exactly. With a unified namespace, that specific sensor representing that specific type of measurement on that specific type of asset always has the exact same logical address and definition, no matter where it is physically located.
Ah, okay. So it makes sure data from every machine across every site is basically speaking the same language, instantly understandable.
You got it. That's fundamental for scaling any kind of analysis or AI across an enterprise.
Okay, that makes sense. And the second part, semantic modeling.
Right. So if the unified namespace gives everything a consistent name, semantic modeling is where you layer the intelligence on top.
Intelligence. How so?
It adds metadata data about the data on top of those unified signals. This metadata defines not just what the signal is, like temperature, but how it relates to everything else,
Such as?
such as the specific process it's part of, the production batch running, the work order it's associated with, its physical location in a hierarchy, its maintenance history, maybe even related safety procedures. It builds a rich web of relationships.
Okay, so it's not just temp is 75 degrees. It's temp on pump XYZ, which is part of line 3, currently processing batch ABC for order 123, is 75 degrees, and its 12-month maintenance is due next week.
Precisely, that level of detail and connection. That's the context AI thrives on. It moves data from being just numbers to being operational knowledge.
That seems like a huge leap from just basic tagging systems. But, all right, this raises the immediate obvious question I think many listeners, especially those in IT or OT roles, will have.
Go for it.
If they already have SCADA, maybe an MES system, definitely a historian like PI, maybe they've even built some custom stuff on the cloud.
Yeah.
Aren't we just adding another data layer they have to manage? Is this just adding more complexity to solve complexity?
That is the critical question, the skepticism we absolutely need to address, and the sources are very, very clear on this point.
Okay.
Airport is explicitly not a replacement for SCADA or MES or ERP. It's not trying to do their jobs.
So it doesn't control machines in real time like SCADA.
No, it doesn't handle that millisecond level control. And it doesn't store your long-term financial records like an ERP.
Right.
It's designed to be the unifying, the structuring, and crucially, the activation layer that sits above them.
Activation layer.
Meaning it makes the data ready for action, ready for AI agents to use it. So it actually aims to reduce complexity by integrating smoothly into the existing OT and IT stack you already have.
Okay, so think of it less as a whole new system to manage and more like a universal translator and a really smart librarian sitting on top of all those existing data silos.
That's a great analogy, a translator and librarian. It takes the data collected by your existing systems, cleans it, normalizes it so it's consistent, adds that rich semantic context.
Using the unified namespace and modeling.
Exactly. And then makes it instantly accessible in that high context format, ready for AI agents or other applications to actually consume and act upon.
Got it. That leads us perfectly into the comparisons then. Let's tackle the big one first. Historians, like the OSIS soft PI system, almost ubiquitous in industry.
Absolutely, the data vaults.
So if my company already has PI, storing massive amounts of time series data, why isn't that enough for my AI strategy? Why do I need something else?
Okay, so PI is fantastic at what it does. It's an incredible historian, the go-to system for storing huge volumes of time-stamped operational data. It tells you what happened and when it happened.
Historical record.
Right. But functionally, it's largely passive in terms of adding operational context or enabling complex logic across different data types or sites easily. Airport doesn't aim to replace PI. The sources say it builds intelligence directly on top of it.
Builds on it. Okay.
How? First, Airport adds that semantic modeling layer we discussed. It tells the system what those numbers stored in PI actually mean in the broader operational context. PI stores the value. Airport gives it meaning and relationships.
Makes sense.
Second, it adds the unified namespace. This is key for unifying data across multiple PI instances or other data sources, which PI often struggles with alone in large distributed enterprises.
Right. Getting that single view across plants.
Yes. And third, and this is crucial for activation, Airport adds a logic and rules engine and the ability to deploy AI agents.
Ah, okay. So PI stores the numbers.
Airport takes those numbers, combines them with the semantic context, applies business logic or runs AI models against them, and can then drive automated actions or insights. It makes the historical data active and intelligent.
So let's use an example. SCADA might show a sudden pressure drop. The historian, PI, dutifully stores that historical number.
Correct.
Airport then comes in and adds the context layer, saying, okay, That specific pressure drop is happening during a critical, high-priority production run on an asset that has a known high-risk maintenance history. Therefore, based on our rules, we need to trigger an emergency alert workflow to maintenance.
Exactly that. It turns a single data point, stored historically, into a fully contextualized, actionable scenario based on the wider operational picture.
It moves the system from just passive monitoring, looking at dashboards, to contextualized activation, understanding why it matters and what to do.
Precisely. That's the transition.
Okay. Now, here's maybe the trickiest comparison, especially for larger companies with strong internal IT and data science teams. Building your own solution.
Ah, yes, the DIY approach.
Many companies decide, okay, we have smart people, we have access to powerful cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. We can just glue together the services we need and build our own industrial data pipeline for AI.
It sounds appealing, right? Total control, use the tools you know.
Yeah. What does the source material say about that path?
The sources argue pretty strongly that this DIY path is often the biggest trap.
Yeah.
You absolutely can try to build it yourself using those general-purpose cloud tools, but it often becomes tremendously inefficient, complex, and very costly to scale and maintain properly for these specific industrial use cases.
Why is that?
Because you end up needing to stitch together like 10 or more different cloud services.
Yeah.
You need something for data ingestion, something for stream processing, a data lake, maybe a separate time series database, serverless functions for logic, orchestration tools, different visualization tools, security layers.
Wow, yeah, it adds up quickly.
You're essentially trying to re-engineer a highly specialized industrial platform using a collection of generic building blocks.
This is where that great analogy from the source material fits in, right?
It is. The question they pose is, do you go grocery shopping with an 18-wheeler truck?
Huh.
Okay, you could, technically, but it's massive overkill, inefficient, hard to park, and designed for a totally different job.
So you're using these huge general-purpose cloud tools, often designed for web hosting or generic IT tasks, to handle the very specific, often real-time, high-context demands of industrial operational AI.
Exactly, and that drives up the internal development and maintenance burden significantly. You need large teams just to keep all those glued-together services running, updated, and secure. Plus, you often end up with a kind of hidden cloud vendor lock-in anyway.
Right, because you've built your whole system deeply integrated with one specific cloud provider's ecosystem.
Precisely. So the argument for Airport here is that it provides that unified, specialized, vendor-neutral layer designed specifically for these industrial use cases. It solves that complex integration pain point upfront and offers more predictable cost structures and less internal maintenance overhead.
And vendor neutral is important. Let's touch on ownership and lock-in again, because that's a huge concern in industry.
Absolutely paramount. The source material really emphasizes Airport's non-lock-in philosophy.
So?
Well, clients maintain full control. The platform itself is described as modular, so you use the pieces you need. It's deployment flexible, meaning you can run it entirely on your own premises, in your private cloud, in a public cloud, or in a hybrid mix.
So no forced march to the cloud if you don't want it.
Correct. And critically, the clients retain full ownership of their raw data, their infrastructure, and importantly, the core semantic model they build that dictionary and relationship map.
That's the real intellectual property.
It is. They aren't forcing expensive, mandatory cloud subscriptions or trying to lock you into a proprietary ecosystem where you can't get your data or your model back out easily. That focus on trust and client control is vital in the industrial sector.
Okay, so if we try to synthesize all of this, boil it down, what's the ultimate takeaway for, say, the industrial leader, the plant manager, the digital transformation officer listening right now, who's maybe feeling stuck, struggling to get those AI pilots to actually scale and deliver value?
I think the platform is really designed for companies that recognize they're already data rich. They've got the sensors, they've got the historians.
Check.
That they are still knowledge poor. They're sitting on all these physical assets, they're collecting mountains of data, but they just cannot effectively synthesize that information into actionable, explainable intelligence that works consistently across different teams, different sites, globally.
They have the data points, but not the connected story.
Exactly. They need that clean, structured, contextualized foundation to build upon.
So This really reinforces that central message we picked up earlier. Airport isn't trying to compete with whatever AI models or specific analytics vendors you want to use.
Not at all.
It's positioned as the enabler for them. It fixes that single biggest bottleneck identified in the sources, the fragmented, messy, context-poor data.
Right. Because without that reliable, structured semantic foundation, any AI you try to run on top is essentially just sophisticated guesswork operating on noisy signals.
Garbage in, garbage out, even with smart algorithms.
Pretty much. But with this contextualized data foundation in place, the promise is that companies can finally move beyond just looking at simple KPI dashboards that tell you what happened yesterday or last shift.
Right, the reactive view.
They can transition to genuinely AI-driven decisions and automation that can start to answer, okay, based on everything we know, what should we do next?
Proactive and predictive.
Exactly. That activation piece, enabled by AI agents running on clean, contextualized data fed by Airport, that seems to be the true value proposition they're aiming for. It's about enabling intelligent action, not just better reporting.
It really is about turning all that machine noise, all those raw signals, into usable corporate knowledge. That feels like the fundamental shift.
That's a perfect way to summarize it. It's knowledge creation from data.
Okay.
And if we connect this back to the bigger picture, the really provocative thought that emerges from this analysis, building on that 80% failure rate,
Yeah.
it raises a crucial strategic question that maybe every major industrial company needs to wrestle with right now. If 80% of industrial AI projects are failing or stalling, primarily due to data readiness issues,
Not the algorithms.
not the algorithms, but the data foundation, what does that truly imply about the necessary strategic shift in focus? Meaning, maybe the future of real industrial intelligence, the next big leap, isn't actually about collecting even more raw data or just finding slightly faster algorithms. Maybe it's fundamentally about mastering this semantic layer.
Mastering the meaning.
Yes, mastering the data modeling, the context, the relationships. If the data foundation is the bottleneck, doesn't that suggest a fundamental shift in priorities is needed? Away from just optimizing the AI models themselves and towards ensuring the meaning and relationships within the data are robust, explicit, and universally understood first.
So a fundamental shift in focus.
Yeah.
Away from just, running the numbers faster and towards making absolutely sure the data's meaning, its context, its relationships.
Yeah.
That becomes the absolute top priority. Recognizing that building the infrastructure for meaning has to come before, or at least alongside, the infrastructure for just speed or complex algorithms.
Exactly. Build the knowledge foundation first.
That is a powerful thought and maybe a challenging one for many organizations. Something crucial for you, our listeners, to consider as you continue to navigate the complexities of transforming raw industrial signals into truly structured, actionable intelligence.